Yankees are lifeless without Judge. Is there anything good to say about this team?
Cue the music.
Good morning. Happy Father's Day. Welcome to the Upper Deck for Pinstripe Chronicles. I'm Chris, and that's Lynn, and we're very happy to share Sunday morning with you.
Good morning, Lori. Happy Father's Day to everybody that will be listening after. And so, Chris, that was quite a question you led into there for us.
What a week. What kind of week was this?
What kind of week, what kind of month? But yeah, we're freshly, hey, FJ, good to see you. Lori, at least they're consistent.
Yeah.
Consistently bad. Boom, boom.
Boom.
Yes. Lately,
I mean, that Mets series was pathetic.
There's no reason why we shouldn't have taken both games. The Mets are hurting in so many ways. Anyone that caught the show yesterday with Darren DeVivo, as avid a Mets fan as we are Yankees fans, talked about that. The Mets have a trail of tears, like we do. So, hey, Joe, good to see you. It's not just this series. This series hoits. It really hoits. It really does, because it's our declared foe for generations. And so we're, Chris has this goal, and I'm fully supporting it, of looking to the positives today, because first of all, we don't want to rain on the fathers today. But yeah, Friday, so could it get any worse than Friday? 15-5. I hope not.
And there are positives. It's hard to believe it's true, but one of the biggest positives, and I think that the chat will agree, is the bullpen.
The bullpen has been outstanding. And really are real consistent beacon of light that has gotten all the better with the return of Canely. And we're in a position where in this era of stacking pitchers, and also drawing straws on who's going to get the closing spot, seems to be as rotational as the lineup. So we've been blessed with the consistency among our key guys, and I know that you have mentions about that.
Yeah. Well, it's closer by committee right now, and luckily that's been working for the Yankees. Other teams have a designated closer. Right now, the Yankees do not have that. But what they have is players who are being effective in that role. And for example, Clay Holmes, he's been effective. He's got a 2.48 ERA. His whip's a little high, but he's performing. Sports Illustrated had an article that you might want to take a look at by Joe Nigerian, saying that the Yankees are the only MLB bullpen with an ERA below 3. And I think that's significant.
There's a positive we can't argue with.
No.
The fact that, bullpen has been our Achilles heel for so long, with just 2 or 3 reliables, to know that we're number one across MLB for our bullpen is
Yep.
something to celebrate. And to hang on to as a glimmer of hope.
Right.
And I just want to say hi to Jonathan who joined, and there's some comments going on that I know we're going to tackle, but definitely a positive about the bullpen.
Yeah. Well, it looks like
across the
we've
board.
got Wandy Peralta. He's been excellent in high leverage situations. Mike King, he goes, he's got 3 saves. He also goes multiple innings. He's doing, taking on both roles, that which few do. He's just doing a very good job for the Yankees. Holmes has 34 strikeouts in 29 games, which is above his rate of last season. He's just sharing the closer duties. He's been brilliant. Well, I guess it's just a matter of not overwhelming any one player with that role.
Right. And FJ there with, his concern is the same, if they continue to be overworked.
Right.
So I guess that's where the chess piece moving part, eeny, meeny, miny, mo of constructing the order of things every game, every minute of every game comes into effect.
Right.
And they have to be really smart about it. And Jonathan, so I'm just going to, say that there's no leadership without Judge on the field. That kind of segues into, some of the other things we want to say.
Right.
Hey, Julietta, thanks for joining us. We have a new friend in the chat, so wanted to call out Julietta, who says all school Yankee fans take something magical is happening this season, and you have to go through hell to get to number 99, the completion of the double-digit cycle. And so she's supporting us, Chris.
Well, I'm happy to have, 99 happen. And speaking of 99, let's talk about Judge. Is it a positive, as we've been told, that a second ligament injury has been identified and they've given him another shot? Supposedly, this means the first shot was effective. We expect to have him back, I think, after the All-Star break. But what do you guys think? Is that a positive that he'll be back within a month?
Well, while our chat friends think and ponder and reply, I did read an article in the Athletic by Brendan Cuddy, and he had interviewed a surgeon from NYU Langone, and he said it's actually a positive that they identified the second ligament that was found to be an issue, because they wouldn't have identified it if Judge's swelling hadn't gone down considerably. Right. And so that's telling you that the first shot worked and there's healing going on. And given the fact that the first shot worked, then the second shot should have the same effect. And so do any of us like the thought of potentially a month, all things being equal, and make any of us happy? No. I was kind of floored when I saw the surgeon, who did not treat Judge, and that was very clearly disclaimed in the article. He said that this is a very normal injury, and this isn't anything so bizarre and an aberration that we don't know what this typically looks like. And to hear a month, in my non-medical brain, that's not what I was expecting.
Right. Well, honestly, the Yankees are never honest about injuries. We know this. So I don't expect them to tell us anything. We just have to be detectives and figure out from the news what's going on.
Yeah, and that's always hard to do, because it really also depends on who's giving you the news and who they're quoting. And FJ about Judge is saying that it would be great if he's back by the All-Star break. There's talk that it will be August. But yeah, of course, FJ, and I think Lori said the same. They're not going to come out with those things from the home office, from the front office, because they want to keep selling the tickets, and so yeah, August would be terrible. It's all terrible. I mean, clearly, Judge is not putting up the numbers, not able to put up the numbers to be on
Am I
track for
back?
another MVP. Welcome back, Chris. And I know, internet um, uh, wants to get in the way here, but the All-Star break, though, it makes me wonder if that's his actual return. I don't know how we'll feel about him expending um, himself during the All-Star break, game,
Right.
etc. But
And I have to say, I agree with Lori. This team is lifeless and buffoonish without him. My question is, what would it be like with him? I mean, he's one person. It's like this week, and I'm going to go on a rant, but this week people thought that Harrison Bader was going to save this team. I mean, Bader's been out with an injury. Do we really expect him to come back and carry this team? Come on now.
right, there really is no such thing, and so by the way, hey Joe, good morning, good to see you. Joe's trying to support our theme of trying to look at the positive. It's hard. It's really hard, guys. But yeah, we have to. We don't want half-assed healing.
No.
Because then he's damaged goods for goods if we rush him back. But yes, and Laura, you're right. Probably lies about Bader's injury too. I mean, hell, he came to us in a boot. So,
Yeah.
so it's covering it up seems ridiculous and absurd, but there we are. We know who we're dealing with a lot of the time. But what is it about? And I was really, really thinking about this when, guys like Curry and Lorenz and, Kay and Coney were talking about that Judge's absence could have a real impact on the performance of the team. And but it's coming to bear. And so I'm wondering especially for the guys at the top of the order that follow Judge in the lineup usually. I mean, you look at Rizzo and his numbers.
Don't look at Rizzo. Just don't.
Yeah. If we want to stay positive, don't do it. If we even want to try to be positive, forget I even said the name. But yeah, so maybe there is something about Judge gets up, the crowd, the buzz in the crowd, the energy is different just by his presence when he goes to the plate, when he goes out on the field. That just, I think everyone feeds off of. And so not necessarily so coincidental that the horrendous things we saw and have been seeing, not just in Rizzo, by the way, but Volpe has been very un-Volpe. We've talked about that on more than one show by now. And so, and just even on the field, the Bad News Bears and people like Rizzo, who's so solid in his position, making that little league error Friday night.
Yeah.
And Lori's pointing out, Lori, first of all, Lori has a positive. They look good in their uniforms. I concur. And so I think that, first of all, welcome, John. Good to see you.
Oh, that's a good question. Will Boone be fired if we fall into last place? I think Boone must have photos of Steinbrenner in compromising positions, because I don't think he's going to get fired.
Well, and then there's a contract that was just signed.
Right.
So I don't.
Should he be fired? Yes.
Absolutely. Should he have even gotten the new contract? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And let's go back. Let's just say one of the things that, didn't happen in the offseason was Cashman going out and getting an outfielder, getting a left fielder for this team. And now we're feeling the effects of that as we've been playing merry-go-round with infielders playing out of position in the outfield. Or outfielders. Now we've got Billy. Now, how do you feel about Billy McKinney out there?
Okay, so talk about your positives. Billy McKinney has come through like fire out of the sky in my eyes, and maybe it wouldn't be so pronounced if he joined when everything was going well with everyone, and he might not seem so spectacular, but he has been consistent both out in the outfield and in the box, and so I'm very happy with him, and would be happy to see him up eventually on the roster. But I think that that was a really that's been a real positive in a very dark time.
Yeah.
And
it would be, I have to agree again with Lori, who's right on point today. It's like you're reading my mind today, Lori. I mean, Willie Calhoun, all season, it seems like like Michael Kay and the Yankees have been really pleased with him, with his play. And yeah, that's great, except that he's the DH. He's hitting like 235. He's not, just because he gets the occasional hit and he's been, no, I agree with Lori. Is there another championship caliber team where Willie Calhoun would play this much?
No, I definitely not. And hey, Eli, good to see you, man. Starting, so Florial's name comes up a lot. And so that's a popular take, Eli. But he's been given opportunities and hasn't really given anyone what they want. So, but at this point in the situation we're kind of in a beggars can't be choosers situation. And I would venture to say, I can't confirm it, that Florial might have been the guy on Friday night, because I think he must have played at Fenway in the past in his career. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure, but back to Calhoun for a minute, who I don't remember. I think it was ESPN Friday night or MLB TV. It might have been MLB. Whoever was in the booth was saying that he looked like that Calhoun looked like an Oompa Loompa out in the outfield, trying to field those balls. Just the image, I guess, is what made me laugh. But the truth is, you need somebody in Fenway, especially, who knows how to handle the Green Monster.
Right.
And look at the guys that, were left to, put in there, even the ones that might have been there before. It takes history of practice, and they weren't even prepped. You would think that there'd be some coaching during batting practice or, whatever, to do some plays to, hit off to catch off the ball. I don't know, but it's very clear that monster really slayed the guys out and left. So, and so FJ's backing up Li. Could Florial be worse than?
No, he couldn't be worse. But it's another case in point there of Cashman burying a prospect for no apparent. I mean, he just burns these people out, and there's nowhere. Then their time is up, and there's nowhere to move them. Can't bring them up. Can't trade them. I mean,
right. And so the only thing I'd say, FJ, is I wouldn't exactly put Bowers in the same category as Calhoun. I think I would blame the monster more than anything if you're speaking about this series we're in right now. But I've seen some good plays from Bowers, and he has the arm for sure. And but yeah, could he be worse? No, No, there's definitely no, for sure. And Uncle Tats is with us. Happy Father's Day,
Uncle
Uncle
Tats,
Tats.
yay, thanks.
And yeah, all you dads that have joined us in the chat, same to you. We love you for being here and supporting us.
I don't want to forget to mention one tiny positive. Stan got a hit on Friday night. Is this the
Yes.
beginning of a hot streak for Stanton?
Okay, so breaking news, and I do consider this positive. Stanton and I have broken up. Our relationship remains amicable, but I'm moving on for mental health reasons. I wonder if that was a mistake, because it wasn't even a well-connected hit. The contact wasn't like, anyway. So yeah,
it was a hit. It counted.
It counted. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm supposed to be supporting your message theme.
That's all right. That's all right.
It got personal because Stanton, but yeah, he did get a hit, and let's hope that he gets both games today, produces, because it's starting to feel like, okay, why are you taking up a roster spot? I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And Donaldson is an automatic out too often. You're right about that, Joe. Yeah. I mean, we'll forever, talk about spotty, talk about, bad, connection. He makes the internet look, 100% reliable. But yeah, and JT should go buy a car wash or a car dealership.
I mean, it's not like we can ignore the negatives. Do we want to talk about Gleyber Torres?
So yeah, let's talk about Gleyber Torres, because someone earlier in the chat mentioned something about trading, and there's been a lot of scuttlebutt on Twitter about trading Torres, and specifically with his value has to be plummeting, like a bad Wall Street stock. And so and this coincides with an article I saw again on The Athletic, that Steinbrenner has said in an interview that he is willing to cross the tax threshold at trade deadline if it would make a difference for a shot at the World Series. And so, that then, gets people excited and thinking, okay, this is the time, do it now. Don't wait for the towards the deadline. Do it while you can get some dollars, and get us somebody, from the left field that has the full package and is a contact hitter.
I mean, can we just have a left fielder who is an outfielder, for God's sakes?
Right. Oh, exactly. So, to get the full package and, in the middle of the season, I don't know, but that's what we need. And of course we could, because of recent trades and then we got the pitching, not so much in the pen anymore, although you could always use one more there. But that rotation, the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, my Aunt Martha last weekend, your Aunt Martha this weekend thing is just it ain't it. And it's not going to get us anywhere close to 99 games or a wild card spot or anything like that. And 99 games, no, we want over 100 games, but the things we complained about Torres last year, the past couple of years, are now becoming the same, that he switched to second. And, I know everyone that we rely on in one way, shape, or form played had a little league moment on Friday night. But Gleyber, it wasn't just about this series. He is making, like Joe said, that these errors, Torres makes an error or a mental mistake. Yeah, it's like his baseball IQ has dropped, and get a number 2 starter or a left fielder, like we were saying.
Right.
So, but I know, Chris, the positive is is that you think that you said that Rodon is
Yes.
finally um, taking
Yep.
some steps up in the right direction, right?
Rodon is set to begin a rehab on Tuesday, so he's on the road back. And again, though, I mean, with the way Herman and Severino have pitched, I mean, are we concerned that this starting rotation just isn't going to cut it? I mean, Nestor is injured. We don't know what to expect there. We need Rodon to come back strong, and is that too much to ask for him to come back and take over the? I mean, to be with Cole and take charge of this rotation and really start pulling their weight.
Well, I don't know that we need to be fair here. He was paid a very hefty sum to come over here and to essentially be Cole Part Two, and we haven't had any payoff from that.
Nope.
And so he better be, and so the expectation is that we it's fair for us to have those expectations, and
Yeah.
because look, and oh God, Li, did you have to say this? Because I was just about to talk about to make my point about the pitching. Um, so today is a great example because we have Schmidt um, for the day game, and then we have Sevy for the night game.
Yep.
And so Sevy, we've been talking about him, not exactly what we wanted his past two outings, and so with the issues with the location and so that's been discussed enough, but it is true that we have Schmidt, who, in all fairness, Schmidt has been encouraging. So, but who would it be if people weren't out on injuries the way they are?
Right.
So, and Motas who? Um, so I don't believe we'll see him at all.
Right.
And Li, I'm just gonna say, we're not gonna lose both games today. We're gonna win both games today and take the series because it's
Yeah.
Father's Day, and
Let's
gosh
do
darn
it.
it, we deserve it.
Yeah.
And Torres for Bieber from Cleveland would be nice.
I would love that trade.
Yeah.
I would love that trade so much. But it's not. It won't happen. But I would love it.
Yeah.
Now, Lynn, do you have trivia for us? I know we've been doing it at the beginning.
I do. I think we were so anxious to be positive and talk to you guys that I didn't start the top of the show with it.
I forgot the trivia.
Nope. I just got all caught up in, okay, how am I going to be positive? I need to do this. So let me put it up on the screen. And so from our friend Spencer, who always ties it to the series we're usually in. So as the Yankees travel to Fenway Park this weekend, let's recall how they traveled there for the 1999 ALCS. Despite the fireworks of Game 3, which fueled the bench-clearing incidents as Roger Clemens battled Pedro Martinez, the Yankees soundly defeated the Red Sox in 5. The question, which New York Yankee pitcher closed that series and got the save in the Game 5 clincher?
Oh, good question.
Yes. So put your guesses in the chat. And those of you listening after, please do so on our at Hit the Upper Deck Twitter account. And so I'm trying to think out loud here on who that would have been. I don't know if it would almost be too easy to guess Mariano Rivera.
That's what I was thinking. He's probably trying to bait us into thinking that.
Yeah, But okay, I'm going to have to think through the bullpen there, because really Mariano has been all the key moments from when we were like really
Yeah.
the dynasty team. So okay, yep. So that's
Right.
it for the trivia question of the week.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week on Father's Day. We really appreciate your time. The Yankees are going to win both games of the doubleheader today. I'm feeling positive.
Yes, me too. And our dads deserve it. We all deserve it. The Yankee dads deserve it. And please, thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining, especially on your special day. Those of you that are dads, and Tats, who is at sea trying to get some fish as a Father's Day present. And we appreciate you and are so grateful you co-host with us every week, everyone.
Absolutely.
And don't forget to like and subscribe the Pinstripe Chronicles YouTube channel, and us on Facebook at Pinstripe Chronicles. And as always, you'll always have that reserve seat with Chris and me right here on the upper deck every Sunday live at 11 a.m. Go Yankees!
Go Yankees!